Hello, Dr. Pitt and gender and aging students. My name is Michael Taylor, and this is my project or my video project for the final project for gender and aging. I know I just said project about 3 times, but with that being said, let's get started. So I wanted to cover just one of the articles that I used in my paper, and it was titled "Why Men Have Such a Hard Time with Aging. Traditional thinking about masculinity can work against health. Doctors and patients are trying to change those attitudes." Now, this came from the Wall Street Journal, and what this article is mainly focusing on is one of the issues that a man faces as they go through this process of aging. And that issue is masculinity. It's one of the major factors that kind of decreases throughout a man's life, and they don't really know how to deal with it. And this article starts to give some of the issues that masculinity raises for men, and then also some of the ways in which to solve these problems. For masculinity, it's this idea that a man needs to be strong, needs to be stoic, needs to be this family provider, kind of this John Wayne character. They actually have a picture of John Wayne in the article. And with that, it's kind of an outdated style of thinking that men should be. Masculinity for men, how they were describing it in the article, is more of an idea that's for men growing up from a child to when they're like a young adult. After that, that masculinity doesn't really tie into how a man should see himself later on in life. The article then goes on to talk about several different subtopics that masculinity encompasses, and that includes that a man should be physically strong, they should be a risk taker, and a man should need work, they should never ask for help, and they should never show their emotions. The first thing I'd like to talk about is that a man should be physically strong. This kind of goes with the first book that we read, with Women in Late Life, and talking about how women should be beautiful throughout their whole entire lives, and it's this whole ageist idea that really doesn't fit in well. And that's society kind of the one dictating how a woman should look throughout their entire lives, when really it should just be, if this is how age is going to affect me, just kind of accept it and don't ridicule somebody because they look a certain way. For men, it's not so much that society is the one placing these stipulations on them. It's more of themselves, that they're getting really hard on themselves of, oh, well, I used to be able to do all these things. What they should realize is, as they age, they're not going to be lifting hundreds of pounds that they once did. Men can still be physically fit at the age of 60, 70, or 80, but they should also set realistic goals. Like I said, they're not going to be doing the same things that they once were when they were 20 or 30 years old. So with that being said, this kind of leads into the next category, which is men should be a risk taker. And with this, it's this idea for masculinity that by being a risk taker, these men are doing stunts that shows some sort of feat of strength or something, that they're this cool macho man character, when really, as these men try to do this later on in life, it becomes borderline dangerous and even life-threatening. And what the article says to kind of control this is that men should find activities that aren't as risky for them, not going to cause them so much damage to their health. So one of the ideas was a man was so old that he could no longer snow blow his own driveway, so he decided to hire somebody. He didn't want to, he saw that as a risky behavior. And to show that he was strong still is that he hired somebody else, showing that he's still cognizant that, hey, I'm no longer able to do this, and I'm going to be smart about this and hire somebody else. So I thought that was pretty neat. Another one of the topics was a man needs work. Now this ties in really well to Men Still at Work, the second book that we read, and basically encompasses retirement, that men see work kind of as a way to identify themselves. It's a part of them, and once they're no longer able to work, that really affects them, or when they start to consider retirement, do I really want to do this? And kind of my take on it too, along with the article, is if they are still able to work, let them work. If they are still physically fit and they want to keep on working, don't tell them to retire. And there's laws in place with that now. But I guess when men are no longer able to work, it really takes a toll on them, and kind of ways in which to combat that would be that men are still doing some sort of volunteer work. They talked about a lot of men that they became kind of consultants for the company that they once were at. So it's more of a part-time job, less hours, less kind of physical strain and stress on them. And other people went into nonprofit organizations, and they found that to be very beneficial, and really fulfilling, giving them kind of that sense of identity back that they once didn't have anymore when they hit retirement. The the last two topics were they never ask for help and that they don't show emotions. So kind of the whole stereotypical male thing is that, oh, men never ask for help. It's a way of kind of showing that a man is vulnerable if they're actually asking for help. And what men should realize is that they're actually stronger if they are asking for help, if they are kind of worried about their health and are able to take initiative and get the proper health care that they need. That's actually being better and less vulnerable because you are being smart about kind of taking control of your own life, rather than just having age kind of hit you right in the face. And the last one that really kind of made me a little upset was men shouldn't show their emotions. It's this masculinity idea, and I kind of really don't agree with it. I feel that men, no matter their age, no matter their masculinity status, should be able to show their emotions wherever and whenever. I see too many people that they bottle up these emotions, me including, in that when you bottle up your emotions, it's really not healthy. And a lot of men in the article I talked about, it leads to depression. And that's something that really shouldn't be happening. They talked about men should find an area where they're able to cry. I feel like men should be able to express their emotions wherever they need to, rather than just a corner. I keep my voice. Rather than just a corner or a certain room. So I really like this article. It really encompassed one of the issues that a man faces. So I was glad I was able to find this. I hope that I was able to cover all that I needed to in this video. Thank you for watching. I had a great year in the Gender and Aging course, and I really felt that this project allowed me to apply some of the topics that we learned about in this class, including ageism, some sexism, and kind of that retirement piece that you can still work no matter your age, as long as you're physically fit and you want to keep on working. So with that being said, thanks for watching.